you. No, I didn't. I did it all myself. So, just me, one-woman show.
Wow. You do the filming as well?
Yeah.
Multitask. Remote, I guess.
So you could do a lot on a shoestring budget.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Do we have any other, yes?
How long does it take you to film that? Or how long did it take you to film that?
Well, it was stretched out over a period. I started in mid-October last year for the dinosaur scene, so I had to catch it before the leaves turned and fell and didn't look like a tropical environment anymore. And then I filmed here in November, and then I actually had a full cut done, and then it snowed at home, and so I was like, I have to go film something in the snow. It'd be really cool. So it was stretched out from like October to maybe January.
Any other questions from our audience?
Can you tell us about any of your other work?
Well, I've done a lot of stop motion. They're online. I did a stop motion a couple of years ago that I showed at a film festival in Seattle. So I enjoy stop motion.
Nice. So how did you get into filmmaking? Did you just grow up enjoying movies, or what has inspired you?
Well, I've definitely always loved movies, and I kind of, like, when I was a little kid, my dream was to have a career in one field and then retire and use all of my money to make movies. So I actually started filmmaking my first year of college. It was kind of an experiment with stop motion, hence making lots of stop motions. And it's kind of grown into what I want to do for my career, and I really enjoy it.
Awesome. And for anyone who doesn't know, can you explain just a little bit what stop motion means exactly?
Yes. So you might have seen like Wallace and Gromit. That's a popular stop motion. It's basically where you take a bunch of still photographs and stitch them together to look like movement. You might have seen time lapses. Those are kind of like stop motion, but in stop motion you have characters and a story that you're telling.
Awesome. And those books that you did choose, were those, because I know, just with our home movies that we do, like, you guys think about every single aspect. So were those books that were special to you?
Yeah, some of the books I used because I wanted to explore that world. I have an Agatha Christie in there. I love murder mysteries. It's like the only thing I read, so I included that one. And the Egypt one, that was actually a nonfiction compendium about a series of books that takes place in Victorian Egypt that's really fun. It's a mystery as well.
Nice. And I think anyone who's local probably did recognize the spots that you filmed here on the Outer Banks, but what made you choose this place? Have you been here before? And just what made you choose the Outer Banks locations to include in your film?
Well, I actually kind of got the idea for the film at the Outer Banks. I was at Jockey's Ridge hang gliding, and I kept having this scene in my head, which was the desert scene. So a year later, I was thinking about making a film, and I realized I have all these little snapshots of scenes in my head, and I decided to stitch them together into one film. So I knew I had to come back to Jockey's Ridge to get the desert scene, and I definitely wanted to get a good sunrise at the beach.
Nice, definitely nice. And were there any challenges that you faced while you were filming this and acting and doing everything? I guess your only challenges are probably like with yourself, but...
Yeah, well, being the actor and working the camera makes it tricky because I have to do the scene and then go check the camera, watch it back, make sure it looked good. So there's a lot of back and forth. That was a little bit tricky.
Nice, nice. And what filmmakers have inspired you?
Well, I love Spielberg, of course, and I also love Christopher Nolan. I like kind of mind-bending mystery-type films. So those are a couple of directors that I really admire.
Awesome. And do you have any new projects in the works?
Yes, I am working on a stop motion right now, and I'm also working on a thriller mystery-type thing.
Awesome. And for anybody whose films were here, we're going to try to put up links to your website so people can find out more information. And make sure you follow these guys. I think there's a lot more great things to come from all of our North Carolina short films today. So thanks again so much for coming.
Thank you.